Welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. Today I was back on the Scout, and actually yesterday and today, so we're kind of getting a look at what I've already done. And instead of getting on the roll bar like I had planned to last week, I just went ahead and finished some of the other stuff that just kind of lacking on this side. Still have work to do on the quarter panel, and you'll get to see that probably next week or the week after. I really want to get the roll bar done so I can get the stuff under the bottom of the truck finished up so we can get it undercoated and back on the chassis. In the meantime, I got the rocker panel and I built the new, like 19 inches or something that we needed, and tied all that in, got it all ground down. You know, last week we were working on that transmission tunnel so that the seat would move all the way forward, and it's actually where it's real comfortable now where my feet touch the floor toe kick, but it moves full forward and full aft, leaves plenty of room. These don't fold forward, which would be a nice feature since there's a back seat, but you know, it's kids that are going to be back there. I can't imagine ever putting any adults back there, but even if we did, you can tilt it, run it forward, tilt it forward. It'd just be a slow process. But all of this is done now on the passenger side. I got all that ground down and finished. Got all these welds ground out and finished, so we just need to work the quarter panel, and pretty much this side of the truck will be done. I filled a couple holes that were in the floorboard, and I do have a couple holes that I want to fill in the firewall just because we're not going to be using the factory wiring, and so we don't need some of those holes. But this side of the truck is just about done. Next up, like I said, should be the roll bar, and then I need to fix this door, which has a big dent here. That in and of itself, not that big a deal. We can take the door panel off, get inside, smack most of that out, and then we'll straighten out the corners and get this door adjusted so that we know it all fits really well. We don't need to make any more modifications back here in the jam. So next up, you're going to see all the finish fitting and forming and all this, getting this all welded up and ground down to make it nice and finished, all the way through to the back door jamb. we've got the seat in, so I'll show you that, and then I'll show you how it all fits up in there around the seat in the transmission tunnel. So I'm just going to try and show you how the seat fits down here. Real nice. There's a nice little gap here. In the in an ideal world, this would have actually been shaped more round like the front of the seat, but we need to be able to put our shifter cover and everything back in there. So that shape had to stay. So it does kind of rub on it a little bit that last inch when the seat's all the way at the most forward position. But other than that, I think we got really nice finish. There's plenty of room, and this is with the seat all the way down. When it's raised up for somebody else, there'd be plenty of room there. So that's pretty much it for this week. It was a lot of welding and grinding. Took about a total of 10 hours doing all the finish welding and grinding on the whole thing. And then we'll get back to putting this roll bar in that I want to do back here, up the B-pillar and across the roof over to the other side and down. And then I have kind of an idea for doing something in the top. We'll see about that, but we're getting close. We've got most of this welded up now and finished, and I think it's going to be really cool little features, with the flip-up seat and everything for the back. So then I'd like to fill a bunch of these holes in the firewall. We need a few of these, obviously, for the steering and the brakes, but we don't need most of these, if any of them. We need one for the heater. We don't need that. That round one was for the air conditioning, but it just had hoses running through it, so we're going to put some kind of bulkhead fitting in there instead. And then, of course, we had the kick panel vents that come out of the cowl. So we're gonna clean up most of that. So before I quit for the day, I decided I'd get the plates for underneath the body on the Scout cut. So there's just a square plate. It's a little wider. You can see this is the plate that goes on top right behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And so it's a little wider and a little shorter. The shorter is because of the wheel well, and the wider is just so that we don't have seams laying on top of each other. So we've got some 1/4-inch plate loaded up on the plasma table. We're going to go ahead and cut that out. Well, you saw me cutting out these plates for the bottom of the Scout. Go right under here. And the holes in them are just to give me a place so I can weld. You don't really want to weld the full perimeter because you're welding to sheet metal, so it weakens the sheet metal in the end. So what we really want to do is stitch weld about 1 inch, 1.5 inches around it, and then you can do like plug welds or fillet welds in the holes. I call them rosettes a lot. Anyway, so that'll get welded onto the bottom, and then I will weld the others in on top. And they're different sizes so that you don't have a line that you're welding on both sides of the same spot, because now you really just have a really weak area because you're only welding the sheet metal anyway. So those are a 1/4-inch plate, and we'll get those welded in. It's going to be way more than strong enough for the roll bar we want. I have also been, while I've been working and traveling and all that, I've been designing a bunch of products that A, I want to use here in the shop, and B, I'm going to make available for you to sell. This furthest one is basically the same as the one I showed you on the wall, except for down here on the end I changed the spacing so I could put smaller clamps down there, and I could put a little bit larger clamps on this end. And then this one really made it for like my vice grips, the big ones that are like 6-inch, and so I've got places for 6-inch, 4-inch, and then some of my smaller vice grips. So I just left clamps on there, but you can put any name somebody would want. I'm going to sell the flat panels. You can get the air tool, the clamps, the vice grip one, and I can change the words to vice grips, or I'll put your name in it, whatever. If you just want one that has clamps or Allison Customs, that'll be $15 flat, and for any of the versions that I've made. Okay, so if you want one or multiple ones flat, that's the cheapest way to ship them, and they're going to be $15 a piece in raw steel flat. I will knock the slag off of them, and then I can just lay them all together and ship them to you. If you want them pre-bent, and this one's painted, but if you want them pre-bent, then they're $20 a piece, and like I said, I'll do any configuration, the air tool, the clamps with different slots, the clamps with symmetrical spacing all the way down, or I have this one, like I said, for vice grips, and I've made this for these big 6-inch, and then down here the end of the 4-inch and 3-inch clamps. And these are for the long reach ones. Regular vice grips will obviously slide on there as well, and they just slide on. So $15 flat, $20 bent, $25 painted, and that's in a primary color, and that's just because I can get those paints. They don't have to have primers, and it's easy for you to touch up later if you want to get the same colors. Those are all going to be available. And then finally, the other item I've been making quite a few of is my bottle racks, and it kind of looks like a spider here. Now, I used to make these all with the short hooks, and that's fine if you're just putting 1 or 2 helmets on it or a wrench or something. But what I found is I like these bigger hooks because then I can hang the hoses off of it, or the MIG cord or whatever. So this is on one of my welders. The slot is so you can go around the valve setup and over, so you can have your gauges already on there. So I've decided I like them better with the long and the short hooks on them, just because it gives me a place to hang stuff, and you can throw your cord up on it or whatever. So, and those only ship flat, not painted, because you do need to, they key together, but you do need to put a weld up here or on the bottom, doesn't matter which side. And I'll ship them with all 4 hooks long, 4 hooks short, or 2 and 2. You just have to let me know. Bottle equipment racks are $10 a piece. They, like I said, they only ship flat, and they'll fit in a USPS if it fits at ship's box. So I think I can get 4 of those in one of the boxes, and I think that's like $6 or $7, something like that. So pretty inexpensive to get these. The clamp and air tool racks and the pry bar racks, these all, the bigger one that I made for my kind of body clamps or whatever, it has 3-inch deep slots, and all the others only have a 2-inch deep slot. And so these all ship, we can stack them and get them in a box or whatever, but it's all based on weight. How many you order is going to determine how many or how much the shipping is. So I'll just have to get you a direct quote for your shipping address. All right, one last little detail here. So I'm taking pre-orders right now for delivery towards the end of June, and we'll go into production in June. For those of you who do pre-order between now and June 10th, all right, I got to have a cutoff date. So between now and June 10th, 2021. So if you're watching this 5 years from now, you missed the best deal. But I'll do custom lettering. So you want your name in it, you want to change clamps to vice grips or whatever, I'll put that in. It will be in this font, but we'll put that in and get those shipped directly to you when everything else comes out of production. So like I said, $15 flat, $20 pre-bent, $25 painted, and then $10 if you want the bottle clamps. And everything will ship towards the end of June, or any orders I get between now and June 10th will ship by the end of June. And then after that, the any custom lettering would be $1 a letter, unless you order more than $100 worth, and then we'll have a special deal for that. But right now that doesn't matter, because if you're ordering between now and June 10th, you get free custom lettering. So take a look, see what you think. They're 24 inches long. This one is got the extra deep clamp slots so that you can get quite a few of the vice grips on there, and holes up here in the corners to mount it on the wall. Okay, so if you're interested in pre-ordering any of these items that I've been showing you, what I'd like you to do is send me an email at jeffrey@allisoncustoms.com. There'll be a link in the description. And then you're going to tell me which items you would like, how many of each one, any custom lettering you would like, whether you want the tool racks flat or folded or painted. Flat ones can't be painted because when you fold them, it's going to crack the paint. So it's bare metal flat, bare metal folded, or painted folded. And then I'm going to need your name, a full address, and a phone number. And please go ahead and put your email address in there just so I'm not hunting for it. I'll send you a response so you know I got it. And then with that, I will give you your total price with shipping, as well as a link to an invoice on PayPal, and you can pay the bill there. Then, like I said, these items will not ship until the end of June, but you'll know you're in the production, and as long as it's all done by June 10th, so you got to have your order in, and you got to be paid by June 10th to get the free custom lettering. Now, if you're not worried about that, put your pre-order in. I'll get yours made, and yours will ship out with everybody else's. So, again, want to thank y'all for watching, and please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all that extra YouTube stuff. Next week I'll be back with a scout video, and I won't try and sell you something. Maybe. But definitely a scout video. Maybe a roll bar. I'll see you next week.